Hello, Abigail here with the astrology for the week ahead. These are for the dates of the 20th of January to the 26th. I like to do them from Monday. I find that just feels energetically better for me. Obviously, the astrology is happening all the time. These are just the major aspects. I'm planning on including sextiles in soon. It just didn't ever work with short form content. But now we got time, baby. So we're going to go through this. Each day has some stuff. Obviously, not every day of the week has an astrological impact point. So this week starts off on Tuesday with some really pivotal stuff. We start off with Mercury square Chiron. Mercury is in Capricorn, Chiron is in Aries. We've been having a lot of Chiron moments, especially in 2024 with the eclipses. I do think this is more information on the eclipse stories. Mercury is revelatory and communicative. Capricorn is very grounded and practical. We are sifting through the minutia of everything we've learned in the past year. And Chiron's going to continue to be there for a hot second still. So this is an ongoing journey about, understanding our pain and our wounds and which ones can be healed and which ones cannot, because not all wounds are healable, and that is okay. Does it suck? Yes. The people who cause those wounds, do they suck? 100%. But it's important for us to recognize that we can't heal or fix everything. And in this square, there is that friction, that desire in Capricorn to repair and to build and to make right. And Aries is like, my wounds are screaming. The pain has not gone away. I have not fixed this, and it's sitting in that moment knowing that no matter how well we communicate or how much we think or how much processing we do, some things just are what they are. And that's okay. It's not easy. It's not simple. It's also not fun. But it's important that we understand that and we give ourselves space and grace to feel all that is, in spite of how much it might hurt. I think it's important under this Mars retrograde with Mars ruling Aries to not push yourself too far. The universe is doing a lot of work to kind of uncover stuff on its own. Deal with what is at hand. Don't pick up a spade and start digging. That's my advice for this a little moment. And on top of that, and obviously they're not, connected by sign or degree, but we do have the Sun Pluto conjunction. This is a huge moment. This is going to be our big moment for many years to come in Aquarius season, up until 2043 ish, because of the retrogrades. Pluto every Aquarius season is going to have a Sun conjunction. So these are moments of revelation and have a lot to do with networks and the people we interact with and kind of the collective energy. We're going to be constantly hitting this moment each year, having to come to terms with things. I don't usually do mundane astrology a lot. However, I find it interesting that, the minute we go into Aquarius season, we lose an app like TikTok and also have a Pluto Sun conjunction. Lots of secrets, lots of motivations. I think these things go further than we think, and there is a reason for that. But that's all I'll say on that. This is a really deep day. This is a day where secrets get revealed. It's a very important day on a personal level to listen to yourself, an unveiling of unknown things. There's a rich, rich, deep history that Pluto holds for each and every one of us, allowing the sun to reveal that in all of its ancient, gory glory. And to let it be what it is. In these moments where the energy is so heightened, I think it's really important not to put pressure on yourself to be something or respond in a certain way. A lot of times with astrology, we tend to respond before and after, but in the middle of it, it simply is what it is. I think it's important to recognize when working with astrology that we have no control, and the times in which we have the least amount of control in those conjunctions, in those exactions. So let this Tuesday be what it is. Allow what needs to come up, release the need to control that narrative. If you truly want to work with the universe, times like these, you have to let the truth come to life and to life, well, to life and to light. Um, don't get in the way of the workings of the universe. And people are going to fall and crumble. Maybe you a little bit, maybe people around you. It's not your job to keep them supported. It is your job to take care of the people who are close to you and to help them pick up the pieces afterwards. But you cannot prevent Pluto from doing its work of deep, deep, deep change and transformation in ways that we will never know in our own lifetimes, even. So that is that day. It is big, it is heavy. Um, but I have faith in all of us. I think, especially in Aquarius, it's important to connect to your communities, to strengthen your interconnection with others. Aquarians, ironically, can often be very isolated figures, but they also do have this really beautiful gift of connection when they know how to use it. So embody that. Build those connections. Find those people when you feel like you're drowning in Pluto energy that will come either drown with you or lend you a helping hand. All right, now we're moving on. We only have 3 pivotal days this week. We have the 23rd, which is a Thursday, and we have Mercury opposed Mars. This is good and hard. Oppositions are not fun, but there is this push and pull. Oftentimes we hype up conjunctions, depending on the planet, and trines. But without oppositions and squares, we never get traction. We are not going to get the grip we need in order to move forward and change. We're not going to get the fight we need in order to believe in ourselves and to trust and to test the mettle of our desires. So while another kind of tricky moment with this retrograde, it's also a moment of revelation. It's also a moment of understanding your place in all this. Like I said, Mercury in Capricorn is really practical. There's a lot of great insights you can find in Capricorn. Is it fun, playful, frivolous? No. Is it life-giving and often affirming, and also forces us to find real answers to real problems? Absolutely. So take this moment to really soak this in. It's also interesting on this day that, only 2 hours ish later, we end up with Mercury going into a trine in Uranus. So we're getting this opposition trine, and like I mentioned, we'll be doing sextiles soon. This is also the Uranus Mars sextile, and sextiles are really activating generative aspect, change, and this kind of regression that's also teaching us about care. And then Mercury helps us verbalize and process and understand in a really real way. So while it's difficult, it's also life giving and affirming. I think also this is a moment where, at least for me, I find in retrogrades towards the end or middle end, I start to feel a little more traction again. Obviously it only really picks up pace on the other side. But this is when I start to go, aha, gosh, that's what's been happening. It's not a full revelation, but you start to get something to chew on finally, to get something to process, to be like, oh, that's what's been going on, at least a little bit. So this is a day of action in a weird way, but it's going to be universe action. It's going to be the universe bringing you something to do, something to understand, something to create with, something to alchemize, to turn from nothing into something on this day. It's not going to be something that you're probably actively pursuing, but I do think a really beautifully complicated gift of this retrograde is coming on this day. So look forward to that with those 2 aspects between Mercury, Uranus, and Mars. This is also a moment, if you have an inspiration, run with it. It's often hard to know what to do in a Mars retrograde, but with Uranus involved, go for it. Then we have our kind of final, excuse me, I have tummy issues, so I often have little belches that come up. Anyways, back on track. Saturday, 25th of January, we have Venus trine Mars at 22 degrees. And I think this is really beautiful. And we are also moving ever nearer to the Venus retrograde shadow. I believe it's 24 degrees of Pisces, so not quite there yet. But Venus will be back in this area in April because of the Venus retrograde. This is a moment where this energy is going to start to really feel real. And I've said this for, all of the astrology of the spring. This isn't the time for like personal action, getting down in the dirt and like digging your fingers in. It's the winter, folks. Stay tight. Let the earth and the universe do what it needs to do. This Venus trine to Mars is going to activate something that we will have to then act on. However, it's not us actively activating something unless we've got some funky Mars Venus placements that give us that ability. So, yeah, take that moment. Look out for what the universe has for you on Saturday. Is it going to be relational? Probably. Is it going to have to do with, what are we going to do next? 100%. With the retrograde, it's probably not what are we going to do next right now, but this is the starting of the gears turning and something that is probably going to be very prevalent during the Venus retrograde, which starts at the beginning of March and ends, if I remember my dates correctly, kind of midish beginning of April. So, like almost towards the middle, maybe a little earlier. I have those dates somewhere in my brain. Anyways, this is the astrology of this week. It's very activating. It's a lot, to be honest. And something important to note is we will have just come off of a Venus Saturn conjunction, and big conjunctions like that usually kind of spread the energy around for a bit. So we're also kind of underneath that this whole week. It can be really invigorating and good. It can also be really shitty and hard. I have never, even with a trine, I've never met an aspect that I was like, I feel 100% confident that this is all good because I have learned my lessons. All right, y'all, that is the astrology for this week. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in my comments. I am going to probably still be posting some of the tarot scopes as we move in. Well, I'll be posting all the tarot scopes as we move into this. I don't know why. I just thought I was 2 weeks away. Having the tarot scopes for Aquarius season, if you want insight on your personal zodiac sign, as my ADHD brain is like, what is time? So yeah, I enjoy doing those, making sure y'all have a little something supportive for this season. Like I said, if you would subscribe, I would deeply appreciate it as I just started this channel. Um, any likes are appreciated, any positive comments. Believe me, I am mentally self-critical enough without being criticized online. Anyways, my loves, I will see you in a different place and time, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Feel free to reference back to this when those days occur if you want to. I am going to learn eventually how to do timestamps. I am working on slowly but surely, teaching my little autistic brain a new skill, and it's struggling slightly. Anyways, I'll stop rambling. I love you all, and I will see you later.